What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I've been watching. I was listening because there's no. I mean, they're not on camera. It's just audio. So, but I was listening to Xbox 2+1, which was a Jez and Rand out Thor 19 Wheel of Time, and the guest was Colin Moriarty. Sherlock Holmes' arch enemy. Anyway, he's on there to talk about mostly Xbox stuff because it was an Xbox podcast. And the one thing I always say, Colin he's super intelligent. We can't say he's not, but his fandom kind of gets in the way of his I don't want to say logic, because a certain somebody has ruined the whole using logic, because that person doesn't use logic. But anyway, he claims that he does, but he does. Anyway, so Colin said that, which is, I would agree with him, but I'm going to disagree with him, and I'm going to show you how. So he says that what Xbox is doing by having Steam, saying Steam goes on their next console, what would promote, or what would entice people to buy games from Xbox? From the Xbox store. They would just go to Steam and buy Steam games, right? Play them on Xbox. And that thinking is kind of an old school. He's still stuck in the old ways. Whereas, he's thinking about, they'll get 100% if they go to the store, but if they just go to Steam, they only get 70% or whatever, or if blah blah blah. And I'm like, the whole point is that if Xbox is selling Xbox games wherever they are, Xbox wants people to buy their games. Period. Wherever you want to buy them, that's on you. Just buy the games. Colin thinks that if they don't buy it from Xbox, then it's a fail. It's an L. And I'm like, first, if this whole scenario works out in his head, and people are actually buying an Xbox console to play Steam games on the Xbox console, A, they get the console sale. B, if they buy Xbox games, they get the Xbox sale, whether it's 100% or 70%. So they're winning on both sides. And then, if people want to buy PlayStation games through Steam, they still bought the console to buy PlayStation games. If you want to play your Steam games in your living room, you buy a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 6? No, because they don't have Steam. You buy an Xbox to play in your living room. You see what I'm saying? So he said this thing, and I'm like, I get it in the small little vacuum of a minuscule instance, but when you're looking at the overall picture, and if you think about what Microsoft's kind of MO is right now, it is to sell as many games as possible. Period. However that happens, that's how they want to do it. And by making a box that plays everything, everywhere, all the places where you can play Xbox games into one box, plus PlayStation games, come on, son. Everybody's going to buy that. I want to buy that only because it has the Steam part, but the PlayStation stuff is extra. Like this PlayStation, that's extra. And I'm going to have to pay whatever Steam price is. Okay, sure. I'll buy a game here, a game there. I'm not going to buy every PlayStation game because every PlayStation game ain't that good. One or two, maybe I'll get God of War 2018, check it out, be like, hey, I've seen enough of it. It's basically a movie, but I'll play it. Everything else is like, Last of Us, I don't need to play. I've seen enough of it. I'm like, I'm good. There are very few PlayStation games that I want to like. People saying, oh, Ghost of Tsushima was really good, and I'm like, I think that Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think looks better. Just saying, that's just me. And so there are just look. He's gonna be a pony forever. He's gonna be a Sony bot. Sony bot? That's not right. He's going to be one of those forever PlayStation fanboy. His intelligence set aside, he refuses to look at the whole thing, the whole picture, and he has this very narrow-minded, because the blinders, because the pony, and he can't see what Microsoft is doing. He doesn't understand what Microsoft is doing, and he says he doesn't understand what Sony's doing because, once again, this is the problem with Colin. He's stuck in the old ways. He's stuck in how video games used to be. You buy the console, you buy the games. Console loss, make it up on the games. That's how it was. That's not how it is anymore. And so it's about making as much money on these games. Now, you can still be a loss leader as far as the console sales go, but you have to sell enough consoles to, make it up on the games. The problem is that the video game console makers have reached the ceiling on how many people are buying consoles, especially with the new generation coming up. They don't care about consoles. They are on PC. They're on phones, tablets, PCs. That's it. So if you make a box that works like your PC, but it's not a PC, you just throw it in I can put a keyboard and mouse on. Oh, it's like a PC, but it's easier. Come on, son. That's like boom, instant hit. So, I disagree with Colin in that. I mean, what he said wasn't wrong. Let's just be real. But like I said, he is not taking into account what Microsoft is doing. They're trying to sell games. And Colin is like, oh, they're going to not make any money because everybody's going to buy games off of Steam. It's like, what games? Are they going to buy Xbox games off of Steam? Yeah. So you don't think Microsoft makes any money off it? Of course they make their cut. Of course they do. So they get 70 instead of 700. I don't think they care. As long as people buy the console. Imagine this. The next Xbox, whatever it's called, Xbox Prime, sells 150 million units, right? Everybody's buying the games. Say 30% buy on, say 45% buy on Xbox through the Xbox Store, Marketplace, whatever. The rest of them, everywhere else, Steam, good old GOG, whatever. Do you think Microsoft cares about, we don't get 100% of people buying the games so we get 100? No, they don't care. Because the 55% that is giving them 70% a hit, that's just fine. Because it's about moving games. It's about moving product. Wherever it may be. We get in a new neighborhood, move that product, let's go. Sony, they want to do the same thing. And Colin mentioned this. But they have trained their not constituency, but they've trained their customers to believe in this whole exclusive ideology, the exclusive myth, the exclusive fantasy. And the problem with the exclusive fantasy is that it's disappearing. It's no longer a fantasy. The reality is that exclusives are hindering the maximum amount of profit that these companies can make. And so Xbox realized that. They said, you look at the games that are the most successful. You look at the games that the most people are playing, they are not exclusive. None of them are exclusive. None of them. That's what they look at. Look, like I said, Microsoft is a data-driven company. I mean, Sony should be too, but I don't know. They be in their fields or something. But Microsoft looks at the numbers. Look, that's why they do what they do. And we may not like it. We may be like, oh, I wanted that game to be cool. But they were like, yeah, the numbers don't line up. Plus, they were lollygagging, and they needed an extra 5 years. So a hell to the no, get canceled. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's cold. It's hard and it's cold, and that's the reality. But I would rather them not waste another 5 years and however hundreds of millions of dollars. Switch it up, make something new. Switch it up, do something else. They didn't fire the team that was making the Elder Scrolls team, whatever they were making. I don't know what it was. It was Elder Scrolls Online, but they were making something else. So purportedly like a cyberpunk type of game or something. I was like, damn, that would be kind of dope, maybe. And Phil played it and said he liked it. So I was like, I mean, like, I don't know if I agree with Phil's taste in games, but he's the boss, so maybe it's something cool. Maybe it was cool. But I'm like, yo, here's the one thing that I wish would happen, but I know it's not gonna happen. All these canceled games, right? Like from Sony has more canceled games than everybody in the history of remember Concord. Don't you never forget, because it was released and canceled. Like, wow, how do you birth something and then, wow, that's sad and bad. But anyway, never forget Concord. So all these games that they're literally actual working games, like The Last of Us Factions. I mean, some of these games aren't ready for the big time, so I can understand why they won't. But like Factions is ready, and they canceled it at the end because they were like, "Oh, y'all know y'all gotta keep working on it, right?" Bungie was telling them, and they were like, "Wait, what? We don't just make it and run away and then do something else?" Like, no. It's live service. You got to keep live servicing it. You got to service the live service. You got to keep servicing it. That's how it works. Like, how did they not know that? Whatever. So what I wished, or what I do wish, is that they could take something like Factions, and whether they do, not dedicated servers, but just, hosts and stuff, and put the game out and let people play with it. And if people want to put up their own dedicated, let them do that, man. Like, put a mod community around it, make mods happen, do that so that we have something to play. We can you'd be surprised if they released that game Factions and they allowed mods and let people do their own services. That game would blow up so fast because the community would take it and they would make all kind of crazy. It's the same thing that happens with like Fortnite and all these other games, Roblox. They have special studios outside of the Roblox studios because it's a platform, and they literally make Roblox variants, games and stuff inside of Roblox. That's a business right now. There are studios that do that. And so I'm like, look, I mean, Bethesda's there. They do their mods, and it's cool, and it made Starfield better than it should. If Starfield didn't have mods, it would be probably closer to hot trash than it actually is. With the mods, I'm like, okay, you know what? I was flying the Millennium Falcon as the Mandalorian with Grogu following me for a minute, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is a good game. Regardless of, I didn't even finish it. No, actually, I did finish it. Then I went back to our previous save before I finished it, before I did the Unity joint. And I'm still there. I'm like, well, what can I do? So I should actually roll it over and do a new Game Plus. But anyway, I wish that they would release these games that are canceled so that they can live on. And like I said, apply mods, let mods happen so that people can change and make the game grow, and it might turn into something. And like you can say, we will allow mods, but we reserve the right to take the game as the mods, or hire the people who made the mods and say, yo, here's some money, boosh, we're keeping your mods, we going boo, 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 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they can like or like set up some type of monetization. I know they did it on Starfield, and people don't really like it that much. And I think it was mainly because maybe the prices were a little high or something. I don't know. I saw them. I was like, I never bought anything on Starfield. I just did the other mods. I think it's Nexus mods. And yeah, like if you think about all the games that like just PlayStation they canceled. Like I said, they canceled Last of Us Factions, the Spider-Man joint. That'd be hot. I know that's a license thing, so that might be a little tricky. Marvel would be like, nah, son. So maybe not that one, but all the other ones, like the God of War joint. Horizon's coming out, so that's, whatever that happens. Fair Games, Marathon. I don't think Marathon's gonna fail, but I don't think it's gonna do what it needs to do. Fair Games is gonna fail. Just saying. And all the other games that they canceled. Like I said, they probably weren't in a state for release. But just imagine like there's like almost 20 games that we were deprived of because the uppers didn't want to keep funding it, or they didn't see the promise of it or whatever. There should be a lane, there should be a business model where they say, okay, these games, they're not going to make us a lot of money, so let's release it, let's open the mods up, like I said, they could have like a mod store that's a general PlayStation mod store where all of these games live as far as the mods that kind of be applied, and just make them cheap. 10 cents a mod or so. I don't know. That's ridiculously low, but you know what I'm saying. It was only $1. Shoot, I'll buy that for $1. I'll buy that for $1. You know what I'm saying? So there are ways to do this, but they like I said, Sony in particular, they're stuck in the old way. They don't see like any new kind of ideas for business. I mean, the whole microtransaction stuff popped up because that was Bethesda, Horse Armor, right? That was brand new. And now I'm saying that mod scene is there. You just got to make it cheap and make it plentiful. And I'm telling you, these dudes and girls, they will go out there and they will make crazy nice mods, and you know, a lot of them is free. A lot of them are free. But if you say, yo, you charge what you want or do like a donation thing, you know, you don't have to give any money, but you can if you want to. And most people are like, oh man, I'll give them $1, $2, $5, whatever it is, worth it. I'm gonna give me some hours of pleasure from this. Pause. So yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, that's a long ass tangent. But you know, it's just like, you know, going back to the Colin thing. I didn't finish listening to the episode, but he hasn't said anything too egregious yet. Yeah, I don't agree with what he was kind of saying, and he's once again he's not giving all of the considerations when it comes to the business and how Microsoft is changing their business and how Sony is changing their business, but he doesn't understand it because he doesn't want to. Anyway, I appreciate you hanging on. Like and subscribe. Leave me in the comments below. Let me know what you think about. Well, first go watch the Xbox 2+1 with Colin. And yeah, listen to it. Try to have an objective, open mind. Listen to what he has to say. Like I said, he doesn't say anything too crazy. And yeah, you know, and let me know if you agree with what I said, and you know, there's things that in what he said I agree with, and it's just kind of a matter of fact. But anyway, I appreciate the weed.